Hey everyone, today we're playing Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which I had to do a triple take on because looking at it I definitely thought, oh, this visual style, that title, this must be like a Suda 51 game. But no, it's from the developers of Year Walk, that horror puzzle game based around Swedish folklore that I played a few years ago. Captions on, always. There we go. I actually don't totally know what I'm getting myself into right here, myself, but it just seems like a interesting vibe, some kind of puzzle detective-y things going on here, and that seems like my jam. And yours. Nope, we're just starting. Am I a Lorelei? Is somebody else Lorelei? It's locked. Ooh, the waviness. That's trippy. Oh. Use tampons. I don't think that's gonna fix the car. But I could try. I think that was just a it doesn't work sound. Look in the glove compartment or leave? If I leave. Lock. Okay. Oh. Don't know if I want to fixate on the car or the location first. Oh boy. This sign has been erected by the National Heritage Board and is maintained by the Augenwaldberg Resident Association in consultation with the Augenwaldberg Culture Committee. The Augenwaldberg Forest and surrounding areas were given status as a national park in 1958. Camping or lighting fires are strictly prohibited within the park at all times. Ecology and wildlife. The trees of the forest mainly consist of members of the Fagaceae family, including oaks, chestnuts, and beeches. Please report any instances of beech bark disease to the National Park Administration. The Augenwaldberg Forest is the home of many species of animals, including wild cats, badgers, bats, deer, and wild boars. The forest has Central Europe's largest colony of boreal owls. History and culture. Archaeological findings dating as far back as the Paleolithic era suggest that the grounds were considered holy. Today, because of its cultural history, it remains a favorite spot for artists, and countless films, books, and other works have been created or conceived here. For hundreds of years, the land was owned by the Schwarzwald family. That just means, that's just, yeah, Black Forest, Schwarzwaldenkirchtorte, of which the last member was a renowned painter Renate Schwarzwald. After her tragic death, the state used the building as a home for the blind, after which the structure was sold and turned into the first hotel in the region. But they aren't blind, they actually have laser eyes! The origins of the mausoleum of the land is unknown. In fact, whether someone is buried inside or not has been a source of debate by local historians. The cemetery administration has refused the exhumation of the mausoleum. The site is home to a myriad of legends and mysteries. Reports of ghosts are plenty, and many visitors have tried to find a fabled treasure. But whether it has existed is unknown. What mysteries will you find here? Got a little map. So we're on this little bend over here. There's a road leading out. There's the mausoleum. That's the hospital. I read this as being the main location of the game, so I'm really startled by the game immediately giving me the option to get in a car and leave. I'm like, does that game over? Does that progress the story in some way? What does that do? I don't know what to expect of the fact that I can just get in the car and leave immediately. Hello. Photographic memory. So I can review the map. We made it a trait that she has photographic memory, so I can just hop through any document that I have seen before. Current possessions. Mental notes. Meet him at the hotel. Arrived by car, so we keep a record. We have a truth percentage, current location, stress level, temperature, caffeine influence, bladder. Bladder specifically is a thing we get to manage. And apparently I'm broke as fuck. Also, B and A both are yes, which is throwing me off. Okay, every face button is yes. You have to navigate to a leave the screen button to leave. Let's see. I'm curious if the radio gives us any context. Does listen to radio even work if you don't start the car? Let's check. Atmospheric, but I was hoping for more of a radio chatter, honestly. For lore, context. Alright, glove compartment. What do we got in here? An instruction booklet and a letter. Thank you for selecting the Lorelei and Laser Eyes software. Please read this instruction booklet to ensure proper handling and maximum enjoyment. Save this instruction booklet for future reference. Copyright 2014, Simogo AB. Why did I say 2014? That's a decade ago. Is this an in-universe thing that is called Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, or is this a fourth wall break manual for the video game I'm playing? Both are neat. Before playing, what really happened at this old hotel? Who are you? Who are the other visitors? The goal of this game is to find the truth. To get the most out of this game, play in a quiet and dimly lit environment with pen and paper in hand. Oh, okay. Out of my way, keyboard. I need desk space. It's a good thing I have a controller for this game then, because I don't have to juggle. It sucks juggling around entire keyboard on my desk. But I don't need a keyboard. All right, open up my notebook. We're gonna call this page Lorelei. Go. Ah, I'm ready. I've got. It's not a satisfying page turning noise. Yeah, textured shit on my desk. Sometimes I think about having like the ability to film note taking, but filming real life is hard. People think it's just like a webcam, but it's like, it's so much harder to film like a board game or writing in a way that's legible and well lit and so on. This game requires knowledge of real-life systems like the 24-hour clock, Roman numerals, Arabic numbers. I think I said numerals and numbers. I don't know what the fuck just happened to me. And other such like concepts. All right, well, I know what the 24-hour clock is and how to read most Roman numerals at the lower end, and I think Arabic numerals is just the numbers as I know them. So parts of this game deal with and depict sensitive subjects and themes. Player discretion is advised. Controlling the game. The game uses contextual controls, of which only the most common scenarios are outlined. Directional input. Player walks in the direction is... They have enough caffeine in her blood, she'll instead of run. So if you caffeinate her, she runs. Also use the various highlight objects, perspective, as a cursor for looking at maps. Okay. Pressing buttons interacts. Contextual prompts. When the player is not in proximity of anything, she'll introspect. That's what the menu was I had found a second ago. Introspect. The introspection screen allows you to view various information you come across during your adventure. On the main page, you can monitor various information about the player's character's stats. You do not need 100% completion. Photographic memory. Your documents are here. Current possessions. Stuff you have. Notes about each character's provenance, characteristics, and such can also be viewed here. Mental notes. Your objective, essentially, right? Yep. And then personal history is a record of what's been happening. I'm summarizing it because this stuff's a little verbose, but it's mostly stuff I already figured out. After finding a byte says system, you will also be able to access it through the introspection screen. Saving the game. You save at computers. Please observe the software does not automatically save your progress. At the game end, you end up... Computers can also be used to load files from disks. Recommend that you save your game before loading unknown files. They're warning that something might happen when I load things, and that might, like, start a thing that takes me away from the computer, probably. Advice and tips. Throughout the game, you will find American dollars. The different rewards you can purchase with them are not required to complete the game. Spend your American dollars wisely. Their amount is finite, and new things to purchase might be discovered as you progress. In and around Hotel, you will encounter bolted shortcuts. Opening them is not required to complete the game, but can make traversal quicker. A hint on how to unlock shortcuts is hidden within the hotel. Listen very carefully if a person wearing an owl mask speaks. Oh. If a revolver is raised, it means the game could be over if you do not answer correctly. Oh! You might not always have the knowledge required to solve a puzzle. Explore, observe, and make sure to check your memories. Some obtained information might be valuable later. This is like the briefing you get when you start playing, when you're entering an escape room. And they're like, please only push things if you can move it with finger strength and blah blah blah, and also if this very specific thing happens, watch out for this. Because they often have to hint at something that's not going great. A photo fell out of the instruction manual. So at some point someone's gonna try to shoot me, it sounds like. Let's look at the photo. Oh. Not her laser eyes. So the game is monochrome, but blood is this, like, pinkish red? I don't know exactly what to call that. It's not blood colored, it's like neon-y. There's blood everywhere, as if she took some larger wound, maybe, but there's also, like, blood coming out of her eyes specifically. Let's see, 1962 is underlined. That's interesting. Syracuse, December 13th, 1962. Signorina, as discussed, I am expecting your arrival at Hotel Letsticiar. Oh yeah, Letsticiar. On January 7th next year. This project is my magnum opus, the mother goose of all birds. It is my firm belief that you can help me transcend the limitation of art for humans. We will put on a show for the eyes of the cosmos. Ab imo pectore. Penzo Nero? R. Nero. Renzo Nero? I think it's Renzo Nero. When someone says next year, I expect it to be much further in the future, but in this case, next year, like they said it in December, so next year probably just means like in 3 weeks when that January 7th happens. Pretty soon. Let's see. Start the car. What does this accomplish exactly? I probably don't want to leave. It won't start. Let's see. Leave unlocked is an interesting option to have. It's locked. There's a letter slot in the door. Tickets is scribbled in red paint below the slot. So if I can bring tickets to Lorenzo the Great, that would be helpful. Ooh. Look at how the floor moves. The texture, like, wobbles around separately from the rest of the screen. Nope. The visuals here are wild. It's locked. Lock the front gate. Oh, there's the doggy. Oh, look at the little pleading eyes. Look at this little guy. I take it. Inspect the collar. Rudy. Our mystery starts in previous correspondence. Find the year. It might just be literally just add one to the previous letter's year to solve some sort of puzzle here. Alright, well, bye. We're just gonna leave it on the ground here. Alright, well, photographic memory. Not that one. 1962. Next year, so 1963 is probably a combination to something. Ah, sorry, I keep trying to hit leave. You can't leave a start either? You really just have to navigate to the X's, okay. Hello. Gatehouse door. It's locked. Okay, this one has a combination though, so we're good. No. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to leave. 1963. There we go. Up. .2. We're loaded with truth now. Powered by it. Hello. There's a Game Boy. That's clearly the focus of this scene. Oh, there's the Bytes Seiya's gaming system. What we've heard of. Hi. The style of this game. Shut down. Install game. Calc ROM. Yeah, I don't have a game to install. Calc.rom. Wow, it's a calculator. Okay. I guess we have a calculator on hand. It's 1411. This game has such a specific vibe to it all. Electrical cabinet also needs a combination. Unlock the electrical cabinet. The dog thing is a little interesting because it means that somebody in universe tested me on my ability to continue. Like, you needed the password to get in. So I was supposed to very specifically know about that letter in order to continue. Among handwritten notes like lock gate, feed dog, and right handwritten notes, there is a typed letter. Sigurina. You were, as expected, clever. Like the mouse who finds the fresh carrot among moldy cheese. Forgive the strange welcome with a locked gate and a black dog. We have to be sure to keep uninvited guests away. Meet me inside. Our journey, 116 years back in time, is about to begin. The past is the key to the future. Okay. Bona fortuna. Is that this a different greeting than last time? Bona fortuna. Ab imo pictore. So I assume it's currently 1963. So that's 116 years back into the past. Oop. We got a little calculator. Look at it go. Wow. 1847.
Whoa.
It's probably how you open this. There we go. Don't need my notebook yet. What am I looking at here? Huh. Alright, so we have 3 more years, and then 3 more 3-digit numbers, which technically could also be years, but boy, would those be far back. Oh, 2014. Oh, just this plus this plus this equals 2014. Okay. Well, we only have positive numbers. So it's not going to be 2020, it's not going to be 2254. Let's see. 1163 plus 820 would be 1983. You need 17 plus 14, which would be 2031. Whoa! Alright, well, I've engaged with every part of this room out of order. Actually, look at the big glowing thing real quick. Ooh. Analog. It's not actually probably the accurate thing to call that. Just run stats program. Oh, 45 things in the hotel, 10 things outside, 3 things in the mausoleum, 10 things in the quiz club, the red maze, Teatro Brussels, the past, prototypes, quiz club question mark? Oh, because those are all dollars up there. Something else at the quiz club. I guess the questions at the quiz club. Then 20 shortcuts. So the entire game has like $100? 100, maybe like $130. I'm not gonna actually add them all up. Okay, so these are basically just save points until I get a disc. I inherently held off on that for the longest because I'm expecting like documents to read on them out of habit. It's bolted from the other side. The shortcuts are just straight up called shortcuts. I need to find a bolt cutter, most likely. Puppy? You can pet the dog. I don't like that noise. I guess it's the fountain. Sounds like someone peeing. It doesn't quite sound like an accurate read of like water shooting into the air and hitting water. Nope. It's locked. Oh. Okay, nope. Yes. Okay, bolted shortcut 16. It's called 16. But you don't... It isn't like you don't put in 16 to continue. Admittedly, it's like the smallest possible shortcut, but... Well. Ooh. Ooh. Man at the gate? Oh, I inherently try to like switch between which thing I'm controlling, but it's really just left and right turns the dial and up and down spins the wheel. simultaneously. Someone's here. Oops. Probably going to be opening the inventory a lot by accident, because if you press any button when you're not currently inspecting something, that's what happens. Like, kind of on muscle memory, I inherently want to like walk up to things and tap them, but if it's not glowing, it doesn't do that. Those are bloody footprints going into this room, which does not contain blood. I like the stylized floor. It's interesting that we're navigating non-literal environments, essentially. Man at the gate, but not this gate. Oh, there's a hat. There's a calling card hidden inside the hat. I am half a magician without you. May I be permitted the enchanted pleasure of entertaining you this evening? You complete me, says Lorenzo the Great. This guy, when he says half a musician without me, I think he just means like without an audience member. Like a magician requires an audience. Interesting diagram. Up arrow, down arrow with a line, 2 up arrows with lines, an eye in the middle. Certainly comes up somewhere. Thankfully we have it all recorded in our brain all the time. At least we have that. So this spot introduces us to the idea of the shortcuts, but it's not like an especially necessary one, because it's just for going around this loop. Is he still? Yep, he's gone. He doesn't like return or anything when you leave. Alright. We're investigating a hospital for the blind. It's called Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. There's $1. $1 American dollar. There's a magician and a dog. Gotta keep an eye out for those crisp American dollars. The sculpture's... Oh, magician. Alright, second magician already. Or the same one? Dreamer. Does it look like me? Kinda, actually. I think they might be doing something there. That appears to be the magician we saw outside then. I don't think I can expect the fountain. Oop. Another crisp American dollar. Wow. Don't spend it all in one place, kid. It is 1963, so it probably could actually buy something. Creator. Artist. These might be the 4 core characters of the story. Or something. I don't think I see anything on the bench. There's just a puppy roaming around. Not sure if they're reacting to anything in specific. There's another $1 over there, unreachable. Here we go. Kind of checking our spots. Hello. Why not? Let's actually go inside. Let's see. I think that means hotel last year. But I'm not entirely sure. I took German for 3 years. And my last class of that was 17 years ago, I think now. Oh, I don't like that math. It's locked. There's a keypad next to the door. Oh, this is a classic. So somebody touched this keypad with bloody fingers or something else on their hand, but probably blood. And the less splotch there is, the later in the sequence the button sequence was, because it's it's coming off on the keypad. So 7481. Good golly, I'm a genius. Oh, it didn't work. That was the you lose sound. What if it doesn't make sense? It doesn't make sense! They inverted the puzzle. That's not... That doesn't make sense. What's up with that? Huh. Okay. They're fucking with me a little bit here. I probably should have taken a closer look at that password, though. Because if it started with a 1, then it probably is another year. Code for the keypad isn't listed here. It's not recorded anywhere in the game, so maybe it doesn't matter so much. That's interesting, though. Yeah, normally it's like you have the substance on your hand, and it comes off. Start the music. Alright. There, oh, it goes mute when you look at other things. There are notices about events and happenings at the hotel. Oh, it's a lot. Notice about missing script pages. Missing, underlined, script pages. Has anyone seen my lost pages last seen in my typewriter January 13th? The content, that's a weird way to put things. It does kind of make it feel like puzzle mechanic callouts a little bit. Just because why would you list the exact date that way? The content has cosmic personal value. That crossed out for a reason? There's substantial reward for finding all 9 of them. Please deliver them personally. I'm staying in room 1963. Ooh, current year as the room number. That's interesting. I'm taking it that they wrote cosmic, then they chose to cross it out and write personal value instead of implying something weird. But this is probably what they actually mean. Is they probably do sincerely mean that the pages have incredibly significant value on a way that's supernatural. Notice about exhibition. 2nd floor, open all day, free admission. Among the many portraits, lithographs, and sculptures in the collection of Hotel Letstesiar, guests and visitors are welcome to visit the exhibition hall on the 2nd floor. We are proud to currently be hosting the absorbing media. I'm just not reading right. Hosting the absorbing mixed media work of Lorelei Weiss, as well as our standing showing of Renate Schwarzwald's Himmelskorper paintings. Himmelskorper. Something on the back. Let's see, it's backwards. Let me just get a little creative. I'm trying to point my phone at it. Why am I so bad at this? The level of like reverse psychology in the motions. There we go. This is too much work. Anyway, print screen. I don't know why I defaulted to phone. Open paint. Flip horizontal. Exhibition, second floor, open to the enlightened. Have you taken the challenge of knowledge, and are you ready to step out into a world of true art? Are you the foretold nocens mulier? We welcome you, the real connoisseur, to see it in all the red gallery. See it all in the red gallery on the second floor. Ghost tour. Guided ghost tour with dinner. Backyard. Sign up required. There's a lot of shit to follow up on later. Brave the haunted, dark nooks and crannies of the hotel and soak up the atmosphere of centuries past. Our nightly ghost tour is exclusive to our bravest guests, as the old building is home to a wide variety of spirits, good and bad. Most famously, the Countess, who is said to stalk the hallways in search of her eyes. And who knows, perhaps you will also be invited to find and enter the many hidden passages on the tour. Please observe that pre-registration is required and that children are only allowed in the company of an adult. It's going to be hard to absorb all this, but we can review it all whenever we want to. Notice about fortune telling and magic show. Locations TBA. Since its opening, the mystery of magic and fortune telling has been synonymous with Hotel Letzisjahr. Our guests can meet with the local mystic or enjoy his mysterious magic show. But be aware, he always has a trick up his sleeve. As the quiz night. Secret location. Feeling knowledgeable? Try joining the Secret Quiz Club. Hotel Letzisjahr is the proud home of Europe's most trying trivia nights. That sounds like you're just being annoying on purpose when you phrase it that way. How trying? Well, try finding it in the first place. To those who find their way to the hallways of wisdom, it's in a hallway. They spoiled it. We promise an elite quiz, which will challenge your awareness and perhaps even put your survival skills to the test. Lost document tubes? Has anyone seen our document tubes? Please, come by our temporary studio in the basement if you know of their whereabouts. Thank you. So at least a couple hints at what are basically collectibles, seemingly. Is this a staircase that works? This looks like a staircase right here. Wonder what's up with that. An audible shouting from the door. Oh. You guys okay? Someone's talking in there. You want to change the title to Laser Eyes? More action. Have you even read what I sent you, Mr. Bob Hamburger? Bob American name. Is there someone with a soul I can talk to instead? I'm not being rude. If anything, I'm being too polite. It sounds like a creator of a game arguing with their publisher, like the equivalent of like when Deadly Premonition was redesigned to have combat in it late in development or something, and they just added these like fighting sequences. At least it's my understanding of what happened. Oh, I hung up my jacket. They let you do that. Ah! Whoa. Oh, the stairs are going down. Oh, now that I see that makes way more sense. I thought that looked like they were going up at first glance. Like they were hovering up in the air. Nostalgia figures, $1, collect all 20. Not a gachapon. Maybe there are just literally 20 and you spend $20 to get them all. I don't imagine that they're super useful, but who knows. But it'd really suck if you could RNG get the same thing again. There's nothing on display. It's bolted from the other side. I peed. Wash hands or don't wash hands is a choice. Like choosing to not lock your door of your car. I wonder if that actually ends up having significance. Alright, so whenever I need to pee, I can come back here. Might just be caused by you drinking caffeine, honestly. Alright, this is the one that's bolted from the other side. Oh, there's all these little helpful arrows. At least you're not going to get completely lost. There are a lot of early sketches and notes on the drawing board. Symmetric design. Estimated project cost. Okay, so it says it's symmetrical, so that means that there's a part that sticks out further to the left that you can't see right now because of the grid design. Oh, one module has a cost of 10. Okay. So each side of the T-shape bottom, it's $30 on the left, $30 on the right, then $30 in the middle for the pillar, and then 20 for each of the pillars, the two side pillars. So 30, 30, 30 is 90, plus 40 is 130 estimated cost for the entire thing. What? Kiel Are. It's a 3-digit combo. Oops. Yeah, that's the you lose sound. Symmetric design. So both sides are the same. You can make out the individual cubes because of the height differences everywhere. It seems like the middle pillar is definitely 30 tall, and the two other ones are 20 tall. And each side sticks out, because on the bottom right corner, it sticks out past the pillar, so there's an extra cube sticking out, which means on the left side there's one you can't see on that side. So yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And every cube has a cost. I suppose one question is whether or not the one on the bottom is an example cube, or if it's actually part of the design, in which case there's another one over on the left that's not on the screen. Be 150. That seems goofy, but I'll try it. Nope. Okay. How am I wrong? Let's see. There's no space to hide one behind it. It would be visible because the main part is exactly 1 cube tall. You're gonna try 120 based on the visible ones, but that seems dumb. You know, 130 definitely seems right. So I wonder why it's not. Ah! Modern design proposal. Inexpensive materials, economic construction, low price interior, any hidden costs? Hidden costs. Licentiat Architect Malmo Svirge. Change Gukan Kiel Are. First etage. Okay, so it's the wrong person's thing. For first etage, their pass was probably 130 if I can find that, if that's even a thing. But this is Kiel Are's page. Least expensive object option. Modular room design. Project team said that cranes cannot rotate modules. Supplier only has one of each module in stock. Constructors said our measurements do not make sense. 81 by 9. Recalculate the area. Treji Volzhnik. Andre Plein. So are they saying I want to create... get these together to make the shape above out of the shapes below? And they say you can't rotate them, so it has to be shaped like that on its own. So I think the heights match. So 425 plus 55 looks like they make up the right side of it plus the first row of the left side. But I'm trying to see if 425 plus 55 plus 210 would make up the entire shape or not. I guess if the structure on the right is too wide, then the part on the left, the lower part, is 3 wide, it looks like. So it should be 425 plus 210 plus 55. Looks like it would fit. Because they can't be rotated. Most of the other things just wouldn't work in general. But based on that, then 500 and 210 could also be stacked to make the whole thing. Comparing those two, both feature 210, so we can ignore it. So the question is whether 425 plus 55 is cheaper or more expensive than 500, and yes, 425 plus 55 is not 500, so it's cheaper. The least expensive option is 425 plus 210 plus 55, but I also think that's not the combination we're looking for right now. Recalculate the area. Our measurements don't make sense. It's just 81 times 9, right? Because it's upside down, so it's 18 times 6. Component paste match. What the fuck am I looking at here? Okay. Available components and prices. What are the differences? 50 and 150, what's the difference? 3 windows, then 2 windows, then... Okay, the 151 is missing a window on top. The 195 one... oh god, they're so similar. They seem to just have slightly different amounts of windows. This is slightly maddening. Okay, so we need to try to find what each one is. The funny thing to me is that this is the one that I have found the code for is the one that's the hardest to interpret. But I think the code might be... So there's the north arrow is pointing to the right. So I think the answer might be 761. This doesn't really make sense. Like, everything else makes more sense in universe on some level. Like, you're calculating physical things. But I think they're goofily just being any hidden cost. Ooh. And if you rotate the room, it makes the number 761. Which Why would a number that is spelled by the room be the cost? But I'm gonna try 761. It's not? Oops. You want to just leave and not just to look at it and then leave. Ah! Yeah, it definitely looks like 761 when you look at it from that angle. I don't know what else you would look at it from that angle for. There's 2 beds, 5 drawers or something. It weirdly has 1 bath and 1 toilet, but 2 sinks. But I guess that's not that weird, actually. And that's a lot of shared bathrooms. I guess have 2 sinks. My bathroom has 2 sinks. I guess it's now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why? Multiple sinks. The intense need to multitask in the same bathroom at the sinks, even though it feels really weird to stand in the bathroom at the same time as somebody else. So I should look around for the other architects' roles to see if they all, because they presumably all have their own puzzles. I'm not sure if I understand the trick here about its supposed hidden costs. Okay. We are reconstructing a poster. And I figure the name's probably on top. Lorenzo the Great. Got a rose. Yeah, it's a hand holding a rose. Lorenzo the Great and his magic roses. What stories do they hold? What? I don't think anyone else saw that. I think that was just me. It just popped up Riot Games up on my screen for a second there. I think something fucking, like, launched itself in the background. Fucking... Is the Valorant launcher doing something to me right now? I don't even fucking play that game, really. That was unnerving. Okay. So we have a weird thing we could put in somewhere. Appears to be Lorenzo the Magician that they keep teasing throughout. That's probably important. What do we have over here? Another poster? Always Lorenzo, huh? Memory recovered. Oh. I guess it saves it a memory even if you don't solve it. Okay, so let's... I appreciate that you can line things up with each other based on the shapes you're seeing, and it'll maintain the relative stacking. So many video games do absolute position and base everything on that, and it's really fucking annoying to solve puzzles like this because you have to, if you have them all in the relative right configuration from each other, but they're all offset slightly, like they're all off by 1 or something, then you have to physically move every single one of them by 1, and you want to die the whole time. I think that chain looks right. No something... No chains can hold Lorenzo the Great. His latest escape act. That's very hard to read because of the red writing. I think that's right. Because it's the way a body would be shaped. It's just the chains that are near... Oh, the chains are going into a shackle on his wrist. I was getting thrown off by how visually the chains just seem to end, and how the wrist itself, the wrist shackle also creates a weird split. So there's like visually it looked like there was something wrong. Okay. These are creating a sequence of some sort that I don't have context for yet, but I will be further prepared when I come across it, at least. That looks like red paint, which makes sense because of the things that we have around here that are painted. It does mean that the local stuff probably isn't blood. It's spelled from the other side. I am still thrown by the fact that the keypad puzzle was count the dots and do them in 1, 2, 3, 4 order, and not the way that always works in every game ever. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It's supposed to be all about the fact that somebody had oil or paint on their finger, and some of it comes off each time you press a button, so there's less of it, so each subsequent print has less marking, not more. Why would it be that? That's weird because it means you're not finding an investigation-based puzzle. It means you're instead looking at like I was gonna say an escape room, essentially, like a puzzle that was placed intentionally. Like they just placed the dots manually for the purpose of indicating the combination, which is a thing that not even escape rooms do, because escape rooms also do the increasingly weak fingerprint, meaning that that's the one that was put in later in the sequence. I've never seen it done that way before. Books about numbers. S.C. Bolt's Numbers Puzzles Volume 1. Your shortcut to a quicker brain. This collection of my original number conundrums range from beginner to intermediate. Each puzzle can be answered with a number between 0 and 99. And are all sure to challenge your gray cells. I hope this book will both entertain and train your intellect. Good luck, Dr. S.C. Bolt. Okay, so I wonder if we can find the answer to 16, since that's the one shortcut so far we've found that has a number assigned to it. They do specify shortcut here, so it's highlighted. Dr. S.C. Bolt, born 1949, has written over 200 puzzle books and constructed over 50,000 brain teasers and riddles. He's the director of the Puzzle Association of Denmark, and his puzzles have been published in all of the world's biggest publications. Alright, so let's go to puzzle 16. I think that's the implication of what's happening in this game. Which number is hidden behind the black bar? North is 0. South is 30. East and west... I believe it's 60. I think this is a clock face. 30 minutes is south. So east and west are 45 and 15. So the answer is 60. Only one way to find out. Let's just go ahead and divert, just split off from everything I'm doing and go check this out. I'm vibing with this game. I like looking at it. Puppy! I definitely expected a bit more of it to be explicitly about investigation and not goofy puzzles, but I like those too. And we'll see if it veers in that direction as it goes or something. Yep, it's 60. I have not written anything down yet. We're definitely gaining information that might all collectively be important in that way. It's just I don't yet know which information to be attaching myself to. Right now I just kind of have a bunch of documents. Let's see. What's our percentage? 6.69! 6.9, but still. We'll just get right back in there. I opened a shortcut that barely matters. It means I now get to take that route to get to the save point instead of going out the front gate. But I do like solving a puzzle. So we'll come back here whenever we find a shortcut's other side, since we need to know the other side in order to open it. which is inherently a little funny because then we're wandering around the entire place. I guess here's the question. No, sorry, I'm bad at leaving the menus because you have to navigate to the leave buttons and then you have to walk away. Current possessions. You don't take the book with you. Mental notes. This is scrollable. Meet him at the hotel. Unlock the caravan. Open the basement document tube. Yeah. So, amusingly, everything that you have done before gets crossed out, and it stays in the same order, but it's also not successfully simulating being a paper document because they're populating from the top and pushing everything down as new things are added. So this is now on the page 2, which makes no sense. So they might as well just sort all the solved things at the bottom, but I don't know. Just slightly hard to read because it's all the same color, and it makes it slightly hard to parse and quickly find the ones that aren't the things. Anyway, no, photographic memory. Books. Oh my god, the entire book is in here. Even the ones I haven't read yet. They're all puzzle number 1 through 19, then question mark. I would figure it's 20, but which number's hidden behind the question mark? Wait, it's 20. Oh, they're being goofy. They're being a funny, goofy guy. They give you a black square and be like, and you'd inherently be like, what's behind the black square? Because that's what the other ones are. But this one says what's behind the question mark, so the answer's 20, because it's the 20th page. That's stupid. That's hilarious. I love that. That's very funny to me. Okay, so never mind. We collect the book, so I don't have to. I was about to say that it's very funny that we get shortcuts, but then whenever I get a shortcut, I need to walk all the way back here to this book. That's probably on the wrong side of the shortcut. Then walk all the way back around to the other side of the shortcut to open it. But our brain captures entire books, including the pages I didn't read, which is extremely impressive. It's like an inventory, but in your brain. TikTok. Timekeeping systems. Unlike the 12-hour system, the superior 24-hour clock system is divided into 24 hours, counting from midnight to midnight. This is just explaining what... See, 1847 is 47 minutes past 6 in the evening. Why is that highlighted? That's interesting, right? I don't care about the explanation of the 24-hour time clock, but that part is specifically highlighted. I'm guessing that 1847 is an answer to something. Counting with Roman numerals. Hey, that's handy. I'm really bad at remembering the last few. IVX, I get, and L kind of got programmed in my brain because it was kind of explained like they called it Super Bowl 50 because calling it Super Bowl would look really funny. So they dropped the Roman numeral system after sticking to it for 49 consecutive Super Bowls, if I remember correctly. I'm not that stuck to that factoid. I don't actually watch the Super Bowl, but I think that's what happened. And that made me remember that Super Bowl. That made me remember that L is 50. But I've definitely seen some weird Roman numerals from like when we're just handling 1, V, and X. I thought I understood the whole system of like, oh, when the I is before the X, that means you're subtracting and so on. But I've definitely seen some really weird ones that I was less sure how to solve in the past. When using the system, one has to arrange them in different ways: addition and subtraction. Yep, 1x is 9. Thanks, Final Fantasy. V1 is 6. See some larger examples. 2014 is MMXIV. So that's 2 M's for the 2000. And then 14, yeah, that all matches up with what I understand. MCMLX3. So that's 2,000s, but it's minus 50. That makes sense because the C is before the second M. L, X are still in ascending order, so that's normal. As long as the symbols are in ascending value order, then you're just adding. But when you find one that's out of order, that means you're subtracting something. That's the weird goofiness of this shit. What is D? So MD, CCC, X. Ooh, that's the weird one. L is out of order. No, X is out of order. So that's all ascending, but then just the X would be minus 10. 1,000 plus 50 plus 300 plus 40 plus 7. Okay. So it is minus 10. They just don't write. They make the strange choice of, in a booklet that's spelling out Roman numerals step by step, they don't spell out that it's plus 50 minus 10, which is a weird choice. But anyway, yeah. No surprises there. A strobogrammic number is a rotationally symmetric ambigram. Some definitions to sift through. When written with most standard characters, a strobographic number can be rotated 180 degrees and appear the same. Numbers like 81. I don't know why I said 81. Numbers like 8, 11, 69, and so on are all examples of strobographic numbers. Because they match when rotated 180 degrees. The most recent strobogrammic years were 1881 and 1961. These are inherently funny because they're using a font that is serifed, and serifed fonts cannot be rotated to look the same. You have to specifically use sans serif fonts, otherwise a 1 upside down does not look like a 1 upside down. Or it does look like a 1 upside down, specifically, that's the problem. And the next is as far away as 6009, so we had a little burst of them last century, or last millennia, and then they'll never happen again forever, fuck you. So we saw these in the previous diagram, whereas 81 times 9 was actually 18 times 6. I guess that document is also all in my thing now too, so when I do find... That'll be good, yeah. So now whenever I find those tubes, I'll have the document that tells me how to solve the tubes also. I just realized that that's also true. I don't have to go back to that room. $1. Useful Latin phrases. Ab imo pectore, from the deepest chest, i.e. from the bottom of my heart with deepest affections. That's the first thing we read earlier. So it's even defining the Latin we see. Ars longa, vita brevis. Art is long, life is short. Auri sacra famas. Accursed hunger for gold. Magnum opus, great work. We know that one. Memento mori, remember mortality. Often, more specifically said, remember you will die. Is often how people put it. And fittingly and slash on the nosedly, the protagonists of Before You Depart were named Memento and Mori. Because they were doing a thing. Memento mortem, remember death. That's similar. Factum fieri infectum non potest. Remember Guy Fieri. It cannot be undone. Feri libenter homines id quod volunt credunt. Men generally believe what they want to. Damn. It's like the existence of truth cannot match the harm done by the appearance of truth. Just throwing out phrases now, let's go. Forsen et hac oleum memis. I don't know how to pronounce Latin. I took German. Maybe one day it will be joyful to remember even these things. Ah, or this too shall pass, maybe. Write like a philosopher, the Greek alphabet. There it is. I don't think I need to get into this at all. Like now, I mean. It'll come up, I'm sure. Internal cartography. Oh, it's just the directions on a compass rose in different languages. Gotcha. Norden, Süden, Westen, Osten, Nordwesten, Nordosten, Südwesten, Südosten. Okay. We'll have to recognize these at some point, I take it. Alright, so our brain is just absorbing a bunch of shit that we can use to decode puzzles later. That's kind of fun conceptually. It also implies that she's never read any of these things before, but she also might have she might have just forgotten who she is given the previous document, actually, so maybe she doesn't have any memories. Biographies have been torn out of the shelf. The life and times of Lorelei Weiss. Hello, okay, there's the name. The pages are torn out. Oh, so it's just a cover, I guess. Renzo Nero, un animale terribile. Terribile. Most of the book is covered with red paint, but few pages and paragraphs are still readable. Given the recurring themes of gambling, Nero's comment about cards in a 1960s interview in Technique and Photographie comes as no surprise. There is magic in cards. My childhood friend, Gino, could do things with cards that I have never seen since. He was good with tricks, little Gino. Il bruto. A horrible gambler. He never realized that in order to win, you have to cheat. He was a simple boy who relied on luck. The game is rigged. Cheating is part of the game. The occult always had a hold on Nero, from his scrapbooks and indeed his work, which often included elements like crystal gazing, tarots, and such. We can surmise that he was particularly interested in soothsaying. He once said to Claudia Piccini, editor of the Etymologist's Stream, that he did not need to see the finished cut. He had always seen the whole film in a prophetic vision. He often said in interviews that he did not believe in fate, but to friends he often spoke about different methods to see the future. Contradictions are contrary to my beliefs, he famously wrote to his worst critic, Paul Demont. Contradictions are contrary to my beliefs. Even that has multiple interpretations where you can say that, like, you can take it as like a snarky comment that, like, he believes exclusively in contradictions because everything he said so far about this entry has been about contradictions. So been him to be like, haha, contradictions are contrary to my beliefs, being a further thumbing of the nose of all the things that happen there. But not necessarily paradoxically, but a different way of phrasing or interpreting this is also to say contradictions are contrary to my beliefs, saying I don't believe in contradictions as a concept, so all these contradictions are not to me, because it doesn't matter. Nero's relationship with money was complex. He would often gamble and frequently said that magic and money walks side by side in art. Yet he would contradictively, as often, claim the money stifled creativity, calling it a red man-eating beast. That's worth noting because red is throughout this game as the only color, and it literally has obliterated most of this biography with red paint, so that you might metaphorically see instances of red as being money if they're going for that here. There's also just literal money everywhere, funnily enough, that I'm picking up. Whenever he had one big, he would buy a new black suit and gladly spend money on diffuse, creative endeavors, which were often left unfinished. He would frequently donate money to a local dog shelter. The dog's collar is also red, since there are no anti-cat shelters to be found. Oh. He supported dogs as a protest against cats. Several friends and acquaintances have told stories about how Nero would carry around large amounts of cash in grocery bags or in his pockets, which often resulted in him being misplacing or losing them altogether. How are the pages shorter and longer than each other? Besides the technical aspects, Nero had little interest in the historical spectacles created in Cineterzo. The apparatus was too big to create anything which would not be controlled by outside forces. In one of Nero's many manifests, there is a satirical proposal claiming that the only dictators should be allowed to direct films. The holiness of creative control is a recurring theme in Nero's scribblings and work. As time passed, his opinion would swing, and he instead regarded being out of control as the only viable way to create art. Surrender to the ether. Nero calls it another manifest. Nero's time in Cineterzo is rarely spoken of, but he spoke of it briefly, and admittedly vaguely, in the 1959 interview with Swedish TV's Lars Halland. It's currently 1963, right? So it's interesting to see something that was printed that talks about the past, but the past is only 4 years ago, so this is a very new book. I heard the whispers in the stomach of the behemoth Siniterso, the old vanguard, survivors from the silent era. I knew that there was an ancient conspiracy. I wanted in. Let's see. Just trying to reabsorb this a little bit. So they see creative control as holy, so any large production is inherently corrupted by outside control. Nero hated distinctions and swung like a pendulum between art house and exploitation, yet the majority of his body of work isn't entirely inaccessible. A dog, like all other dogs, is still frequently aired on TV in Italy and Germany, and Automobile is constantly screened at cult movie festivals. His work has found an audience, and Un Animale Terribile definitely ended his already limited commercial appeal. Nero had crossed the line between eccentric and madman, and the distributor abandoned the film after its initial premiere. The first and only Cinema I'm struggling with the pronunciation as we hop between so many languages and cultures here. Cinema Sostenuto project was a Trojan horse. An American studio, likely not too familiar with its earlier work, had been convinced that Nero could create a cheap gothic horror film, which was in vogue at the time. Had they read Nero's attached manifest, it is unlikely they would have given him a cent. An early draft of the proposal suggested, hopefully jokingly, that the audience should be lined up and shot after each screening. Alright, well, this guy's just having fun for a living. He's just fucking with everybody at this point. He had a great interest in technique, and his friend Kai Agatz remembers their visits to the Electronic Art Symposium well. He called the whole exhibition a one-potato meal, but he kept coming back to Weiss's parodic computer, which failed at every task given. It aligned well with his thoughts about machines surpassing humans, while still being inept at everything. Since they were built by morons, he called Weiss a woman with laser eyes, and said that he already knew they would soon work together. Okay, so this guy we've been reading about this whole time, he's the one that dubbed them Lorelei Weiss as having laser eyes in the first place. And we can't read anything about Lorelei, unfortunately. So we're only learning about this person that was adjacent to them. I'm taking it that Lorelei and Nero are the people on the other two statues across the way. I'm amused by this. A computer that fails at everything. He's like, and he sees it as an example of machines being superior to humans in every way, but still limited by the fact that they're built by morons. Like, congratulations, welcome to AI art. The AI is technically more capable than the humans, but it's still built by idiot humans. So its fumblings are embarrassing and limited. This is probably the same room that that leads back to the beginning. So I'll probably loop back around in this direction just to try to keep, like, the directions straight, essentially, as we go. I'm having fun just kind of unpacking this environment. At the moment, we are awash in contextless puzzles and a bunch of disparate elements. So I'm not really trying very hard to piece anything together yet. Right now, I'm just letting it wash over me. Akin to, like, when you get into an escape room and you just have to, like, go wall to wall and just absorb what every element is that's in the environment around you and figure out what all of that even is before you can even start to unpack what the puzzles are. Let's see, in the background we have an elephant with a hat on a painting. This guy is still physically present. They're shouting behind the door. This is where the footsteps lead. This is essentially the thing that we're inclined to think we would need to find. It says, I think it says private? Privat? The letters are scrunched together in a way that's a little hard to read at a distance. Someone's very upset in there, and specifically this door has no discernible way of opening it. There's no interaction, no lock, no keypad, it's just closed. I want the dollar over there on the right. There's a ladder on the left. Interestingly, it looks like a folding ladder, so it's not like a permanent one that's always there. We'll have to remember that we also want to go back outside and explore the surrounding area too. We're not just here to be here. Let's see. I have taken a strange way of navigating this environment, which is that I went underground first. So it might be best to start over and ignore the fact that I came down here and now just start unpacking the top floor from scratch. Maybe zigzag around a little bit. Start here on the right. What's up there? Huh. Oh, there's a bird above the door. I had to move a little bit to see it clearly. I'm at an angle a little bit where the top of the screen is slightly darkened because of how flat screens work. Because I'm sitting a little bit below it. An espresso machine. This is where the coffee happens. That makes you run. I don't know if that's a real gameplay mechanic that'll matter, or if it's just a funny quirk that you can drink coffee to run around faster and then you have to pee. That seems to be the implication. That's probably a portrait of the dog outside that's roaming around. Oops. Ding. The elevator's out of order. Add that to our list. Notice, elevator is out of service. We apologize for the inconvenience. Elevator service number is a phone number we can't read. Welp. Hausmeister. Nachtel 61. Einun Sächsisch? There we go. I don't know what GmbH stands for because it's an acronym that's not in my language. So that's a little hard to unpack. Plus. Canzone del Oceano. They won't let us look at the art up close. They'll just say what it says. Adieu, Tbilisi. There's like a one-eyed captain dude. An eyeball maze? No, they're film posters. Are they all film posters? Plus sign lithograph. So that one does not claim to be a film poster. It's locked. So we have a 4-digit combo that we need here. Padlock in the elevator hallway. I do feel like this might be one of the ones we noticed by the elevator. Magic posters. What were these? Oh, those. That means something. Letters. I already did that number and that number. Find the year. I feel like I already... 1963. It's like, I kind of feel like we already had another number in our back pocket, but I actually don't know if that's the case. That might not be the case. Not like we're gonna lose it. I can just come back anyway. Okay, so that's a dead end because that door is locked. Left door is locked. So now we're pretty... Oh, this is another nexus of stuff. Okay. Probably stick to the ground floor for now. And try to just be thorough. There is a key hanging from the chandelier up there. Hello. That's relatively easy to not notice, isn't it? Just hiding away. Oh, I didn't even see the dollar. I just saw the prompt saying there was a dollar. Ooh. First etage. I can probably solve this one. That. Didn't mean to click on it again. I have to look away. You have to look away from something to open the pause menu because you open it with the same buttons. They could have just mapped it to start. I'm guessing that they're trying to make a... I'm guessing that they also released this on phones. And so that might be why it has a single button input system. It also might be why this screen looks like it's suspiciously cropped like an iPad. That's my guess. But I'm not going to check. Because I don't care. But the controls of this game are slightly annoying because they didn't just let you have a dedicated this screen button and there's no just press B to leave. You specifically have to press the X's. That further indicates it's probably made for touchscreen interfaces that you have to click on the X's in order to leave anything. Photographic memory, books, documents. I forgot where it is. Forest map. All those guys. Notes, notes, notes. Architect sketches. Ah, first desktop. This is the 130. My nemesis. Ta-da! I was always right the entire time. I'm always right about everything. God, I love being right all the time. Oh, that's a map of the game. Ooh, it's blinking. It's a magic map. Oh, is it color? It's color coding the rooms based on whether I've been there before. It looks like. Hotel Letztes Jahr, floor 1. The pride and joy of Hotel Letztes Jahr with all of... Can I look at it closer? Oops. That's not what that does. Why would the magnifying glass not look at the thing up close? Why would that work that way? There's a magnifying glass, and if you click, it leaves. The pride and joy of Hotel Letztes Jahr, with all the conveniences of your dreams, this floor houses a lush restaurant, a rustic cafe, along with a library full of information, spacious lounges to socialize in, and even its own chapel. So, music, cafe... Oh, it tells you what you're currently highlighting. That's what the magnifying glass is meant to be. So, dining hall. Can I click on the dining hall? No. It's just that it names things. So, drinking... There's... Oh, secret chapel. Why would it be secret? It's seemingly upstairs? Or is it under the stairs? There's a little curvy... There's this little... What's that little icon mean? That there's a safe, maybe? That's the room I came up. So we went underground here, then came up here earlier, then came back around. I can't remember what was in that room that looked like that. These doors are locked. There's the cafe. There's a laptop over here, so that's for saving. There's two more around here. It's interesting that the front door is so... The front room is so narrow looking on this map. I don't think it looks that narrow in the game. But that's the front counter, and that's the room where somebody's yelling right now. That's the reception office. There's a mirror room. Some hallways. Room 1932. 1962. We saw a message from somebody that wants us to collect all those things, but they were in room 1963. So it's interesting that it's hotel, I think, means last year, letztes Jahr, and this is last year in that it's currently 1963, and this is room 1962. I wonder if there even is a 1963, or if they're doing a goof. They're screwing with us a little bit, doing something weird. Is this just a spiral staircase? Could be. Safe box room. Safe box room 2. The safer box room. Anyway, there's no key to tell you what anything means. So you just kind of have to intuit based on symbols. Like this might be gambling or a card game. Those are safes. Those are coffee. The cafe one makes sense because coffee. There's a coffee machine over here. So those must be just be where every coffee machine is. That looks like a grandfather clock maybe, but it's too short. If that's a Jack in the Box or a music box. These are just places that plays me. It doesn't matter. This is a weird open wound in the room. I have a normal one. All right. Anyway, we don't need a map right now. But I have one. Oh, can't turn lights off or anything. Oh. Astronomical clock. So this is the thing I saw that I called a grandfather clock. It does look like that, just only on the top side. They just didn't draw the rest. Uh-huh. Okay. Roman numerals on each layer. Lining up with those symbols. Yeah, we have no idea what we're supposed to put here yet. West door is locked. I'll use my car key. It didn't work. Damn. I really believed in myself there. I've already been on the right a little bit, so let's swoop around on other parts of the right and see what we've missed. Un animal terribile, but it's backwards. Elebere elem elamine. I mean, I would just believe that that says something already, but apparently it's supposed to be backwards. I don't know why how the subtitle knows to capitalize those letters, but the thing isn't written that way. That's like an oud detail. Bolted from the other side. It's locked. Padlock east of foyer. It could be a number that's tied to this film. '60s interview is not even a specific year. When did this movie come out? Just looking for years in general. Ended his already limited commercial appeal, but there's no year listed. 1959. I heard the whispers in the stomach of the behemoth Sinterzo. Sinterzo. A few years ago. I'd give it a try, but I don't think it's relevant. It's probably tied to Nero in some way. Nope. There's no year on that. Given that the poster's backwards, you might have to put the year backwards. I could try it, but I also don't think this is the right number to be trying in the first place. But in the future, and I'm wondering what it could be, I might want to put whatever I find backwards. Nope. It's interesting noticing that the poster itself is backwards. Another locked door. You can kind of see behind it. There's like a flat screen up there, it looks like. Is it a flat screen? It definitely looks like a TV, flat screen. Sorry. Just catching up to the fact that the game told me the current year is 1963, but there's computers. Hang on a minute. Some of this shit might not make any sense. Oh yeah, that's a spiral staircase. That's another way of going upstairs, which I will avoid for now. The ones I read. We've been here, so let's try this back room. Of Hearts. A stream. Huh. Poorly cropped posters. Interestingly, the text that they give us to indicate what it is not the same text you can read. Like, I can't see dream on there anywhere. I can see logists. But both of them are implying that we are seeing the right side of the poster, and there's a left side somewhere. So this subtitle, this also is displayed in a way like that, to give you that idea. The hidden chapel is in fact under the stairs, like I figured. It's locked. I'm guessing that it's... the password is either it's probably the right side of two dates. So if I find out what years these two things came in, I'll use the right 2 digits of each and not the other ones. That's my interpretation, at least. So I need to find out more about these two things. Something of Hearts and Blah Blah Blah's dream. Something on the other side is blocking the way. I like walking around this game. All right, chandelier, give me the key. Just baby bird it into my mouth. Yum, yum, yum. We're now upstairs. We're mapless. Exhibition opening in 2014. Okay, so it's not 2014 yet, unless this place closed. I don't know what year it is right now. Maybe I've missed it somewhere, but it's definitely not 1963. That was a riddle. Automobile, but it's upside down. It looks torn, but I think that's just the mountain range in the middle of the field. So something about the year automobile, the year of that automobile released, maybe, but written upside down because it's an ambigram. Thanks a lot, game. You're making me think of Angels and Demons again, the prequel to world-renowned hit, The Da Vinci Code. Listen, I went through my era of listening to Nickelback, and I went through my era of reading Dan Brown books. It happens. I read every Dan Brown book for a little while there. On a little reading marathon. It was just, they are admittedly fun. I also do enjoy books with very short chapters. It feels like you have high momentum. If I ever write a book, it'll probably have 300 chapters. Order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Film poster, but it's all split up, I think. Okay. A dog like all other dogs, but just distributed annoyingly. So everything we're finding is themed after this guy's movies and his career. Ooh. Andre Plan. Let's go find that page. Documents? No. Notes? Architect sketches, yep. Andre Plan. I solved this one already too. So it's 425 plus 210 plus 55. So 425 plus 55 is 30, 480, 490, 690. The weird thing is that, oops, there was like a controversy about Common Core maths years ago for some reason. But whenever I tried to read that, and whenever I tried to put it, admittedly, it's confusing to try to read about Common Core math like having it spelled out to you, which kind of fits with the rest of Olaf math. Having to actually concretely break down the elements of math step by step is confusing to explain. Like, there's a lot of math concepts that aren't that complicated to me, but trying to do the proofs in the first place that explain the concepts feels incredibly complicated. So in that way, Common Core sounded really complicated and confusing. But also, whenever I did try to understand it, it sounded like it was just the way I do literally actually already process numbers. So in that way, it sounded actually like it's super useful. And I didn't learn Common Core math because it didn't exist yet when I learned math. But it also seems to match up with exactly how I think about math. So in that way, it sounds extremely useful, actually. It's just confusing. So all these parents were like, look at this shit my kids are bringing home. It's the woke mafia or something. And it's like, but it's just because they're explaining math in a way differently than how you remember math being explained. So it's like they're inventing new math. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It seems really intuitive, actually, to use. Because you break up the numbers into chunks and then add them together, essentially. You're finding shortcuts to think about how these numbers work. Whereas the alternate system that a lot of people remember is just rote memorization of multiplication tables, and that's not amazing. Rote memorization is not an amazing way to do math. It can be effective in its own way because rote memorization means you can have rapid recall on certain exact things. So in that way, it's, like 12 times 12 is 144. Like, I just remember that. I don't calculate that 12 times 12 equals 144. I just remember the fact that it is. So that's helpful in its own way. So they both have a place. Like, being able to break down larger, non-specific math results is useful, but it's also helpful to just have memorized the entirety of the common things you would add and multiply in daily life, because that makes you fast. Math's good, actually, I guess, is the takeaway. I actually loved math when I was taking it, but now I'm slow and useless at it because I haven't done anything math-related for at least 11 years. Maybe more. Hotel Letztes Jahr, floor 2. The second floor of Hotel Letztes Jahr includes spaces perfect for exhibitions and shows, as well as lots of luxurious rooms to stay and feel at home in. Studies, offices, and other workspaces are found throughout the floor. This floor also leads to the backyard, in which you will find places to contemplate, such as the orangery. Is that just a place that grows oranges specifically? Is that what that means? There is a balcony facing south, and each wing has its own balcony with its own fire escapes, which is important. Fire safety. Okay. Let's see. Anything specific? Front yard. This will lead to the front yard, probably for the other side of that ladder we saw. Just another shortcut, essentially. Craft room, safe boxes. Room 1948. I'm fascinated by how few actual rooms there are in this hotel so far, and how all of them are year names, essentially. 1960. This one has a weird crevice in it, too. The backyard. The Horseman Room. A normal room to have. 1973. The top floor of the library. So if I took the spiral staircase, it would take me to the top floor of that library, which doesn't lead much of anywhere besides having a shortcut to the Horseman Room, potentially. Library office. Investigation room. A room for investigating. Bunch of foyers. Elevator. Okay. Oop. There's a hole in the forehead of the sculpture. Put your tampons in. It didn't work. I'm sorry. Nope. I'm really good at finding every shortcut. I guess it's intuitive that we'd find them all from the wrong side first. Oh, hello. Oops, I keep doing this wrong. I keep trying to press a confirm button to interact with it. That's not what they want from me. Okay, so the Lorenzo is actually the top, and then the tagline's on the bottom. Boop. But this tagline's actually on the top. The mystery show. I believe that'll fit together. Matching some of the pieces feels weird because of how like the crystal ball is there, right where the pieces split. Lorenzo the Great's latest mystery show. Do spirits come back? American dollar. Already found 8. I could just start chugging them all into the capsule machine, but I don't know. It said that I might find other uses for money later. I don't know if the capsule machine's what I want to spend stuff on, because we have a limited amount, according to the game. I'd be worried that the capsule machine might just be useless collectibles. They might all be useless, but there might be ones that are more interesting. So I have my maps in my menu now. They're nice enough to tell me which one I'm currently on. Those are all locked doors. And we have no other way of getting upstairs besides the other spiral staircase, right? So, we can't really complete floors so far. Like, my thoroughness ends here already. But there's a staircase going up, but I think I want to check out the spiral first. So that we don't forget about it. Because it will likely also dead end. Take out the 1870 book. Okay, no, it's a combination. These are not readable. That's what I kind of thought it might be. Yeah, like a secret passage. 1880 book. So each decade of books has its own thing here. And you probably have to pull the correct combination of them. And it also looks like I won't be able to reach the other side of this library from here. I have to do it from elsewhere. So I need to figure out the combination and then pull them all out. The 1890s. The 1800s. This looks like it might be where the blood is. 1810s. 1820s. Camera angle changed. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a 5-part combination. So you rotate the moon phases, then hit, then input it, and you have to have the correct sequence of 5 moon phases to open this book. That's interesting. That's not an input system I've quite seen before, I don't think. Not in that very specific way, at least. Alright, so this place is moot as fuck. We're not doing anything here. Not for now. I'm going to continue seeing how far into the facility I can press. And then I'll probably go back outside to see what else I can find out there. Nope. 2014. I'm kind of wondering if this game has time travel. Got $8 and 1 shortcut. I'm kind of wondering if this game has time travel because there's a bunch of doors that all have years on them, like they're the fucking like Nightmare Before Christmas, and also specifically that exhibition downstairs opens on in 2014. So the fact that there's a 2014 room makes me think like, does that actually take me to 2014? Is that where this game's going? It's locked, of course. So we're not gonna know yet. Let's go left or right. 1963. Okay, this is where I need to take the typewriter pages. Oh, I knocked on it. I don't normally... Why don't you always knock on these doors, ma'am? That's just polite. You could just check. You just start barging into all of them every time and just try to get inside. Do you pay an American dollar for an espresso? Is that how this works? Maybe. I wouldn't expect it to... I'd expect it to take coins. If it is pay-based. Or maybe you just need to have a cup. I don't have a cup. I'm a little upset about the mental image of her putting her used cups in her purse. 3-digit combo. West hallway, 3rd floor. To the other side. Am I gonna keep finding the American dollar prompt before I see the American dollar? That's funny. This is neat, though. I did not know... Oops, I keep getting this wrong. I did not know I was walking into such an escape room. This is my jam, in fact. When I got wind of this game, there was a few different... I was relatively sure it was going to be my jam. I just wasn't sure which specific kind of my jam it was going to be. But there was like several right answers. Alright, that's the top. That's the bottom. So the name must go at the top. Lorenzo the Great. Lorenzo the Great and his latest mystery. Playing cards turn into keys. So somewhere these are going to be useful, right? Like there's got to be some place where we're supposed to use these. Okie dokie. Oh, we don't have the 3rd floor map anyway. I was just gonna double check, but like, it looks like this is all a dead end. Dude, we're gonna be hours and hours into this playthrough while I'm just like feeling out the environment still at this rate. But then all the puzzles will start having to come down like dominoes. Just gotta figure out what we're looking at here. These do feel a little bit like goofy little time killers. Just like as you're exploring, you get to do a little thingy real quick. Wow, look what I did. I did a thing. Where's the top of this maze? I guess this is the top. Because the paint ends there. Lorenzo, and then this hand is complete, and this side thing looks like it matches up. I think these two might be backwards. Yeah, there it is. Lorenzo's vermilion tears. Cure the blind. Heal the sick. Oh, he pivoted from magic tricks to what might be quackery. The filmmaker and the magician both are all over this place. Did they both stay here? Live here? Maybe? Hotels implied temporary stays. These reflections are interesting. I wonder if I'll need to unpack them more at some point. This one looks like doors. Looks like a photo, like an old-timey photo of a door that's like projected across the tiles, but also some of them are offset. To scramble it up a bit. I believe, all of these things I'm getting are combining. Playing cards, crystal ball, vermilion tears, escape artist, rose. Oh, and that's all of them, I guess, because the game does show you how many there are of everything in the game. So we've now solved every poster. Those must come up somewhere. Maybe they're the first puzzle. The first multi-room puzzle. 1847's door has a maze on it. It has a maze, but I don't have a way of interacting with it yet. Maybe once I have the right item, I can solve the maze with the item. And that somehow does something. Treaty of Vojnik. We've got another one. Do-do-do-do. Okay, yeah, this one's just 6 times 18. Which I can combine as being, I can think of that as being like 6 times 20. So 120 minus 12 is 108. I think that might technically be Common Core, but I didn't learn it that way. I think I constructed it that way myself as a shortcut, essentially. 5, 6, 1. Okay, the map just has the answer to one of the rooms on it. Hotel Letzisjar, floor 3. The highest floor of Hotel Letzisjar is used for the most spacious suites, facing the beautiful and seemingly endless forest to the north. The wing's rooms feature grand windows from which guests can view the wonderful landscape. The majesty of this floor is enhanced by its many hallways, which the octagonal center of the floor accentuates the height. The stairs in the southmost hallway lead to the small loft, while the stairs in the northern hallways lead down to the mezzanine of the foyer. What do we got around here? There's a lounge with a looks like a printer that I should have access to if this code works. Gaming room. That does look like that looks like a video game controller. So yeah. It definitely seems like the idea that the current year is 1963 is not literal for the sake of some kind of puzzle getting into here. That was like a trick. I was not meant to actually think the game takes place in that year. But the galaxy brain take might be that actually does take place that year, and that maybe we time travel via these doors that have years on them. That would be interesting. But as of now, it's still a thing I've made up, and it's not a thing that has actually appeared. So we'll see. Well, okay then. This has been an intriguing start, but it's about time for us to take a break, so let's go ahead and save. In the next episode, we will track down that door that we seemingly have the code for, and see where that goes.